Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing well. So I'm posting this video on the 17th of September, and I'm very curious to see what the energies are looking like, what we can learn from those energies, and what we can do to really empower ourselves, become the brightest, most amazing people that we could ever know. That's what really enriches the world, you know? When we're glowing bright and we're smiling, we feel at peace, and we didn't have to try too hard to achieve that. We're very influential. You know, I just watched this series on Netflix and it's One Piece and it's like the live action version. I never watched the anime, but I love it. This Monkey D. Luffy, he's got this great, like, joyful look in his eye and this smile, and he's good, you know? He represents a good pirate. I love it. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. But it's got such a good energy to it. It's so positive. And if you're feeling low for any reason, that should cheer you up. But I'm also going to do a journey here. We're going to learn some stuff and we're going to find some tools, some advice, some perspective in order to help rebuild us as well. I will say this September energies has been pretty intense. It feels like it goes deep down inside. It feels like it's really kind of poking an old wound. Maybe some of the past is really coming up really intensely. Something interesting that happened this week. I mean, I've heard this many times. I'm aware of this. It's about how we live in the now. This concept of focusing on the past isn't really living in the now, and focusing on the future really isn't living in the now. But I had a bit of an organic event. Like, I felt it in my very blood, this sort of next level awakening. And I woke up in the middle of the night for starters, and I had this bit of a dark energy that I was looking at, but it was creating all this conflict, and I didn't really want to give it much energy or much focus. So I just started asking myself some random questions about what I like to do today and be honest with myself. And some of the things that I said, I wasn't really sure what to make of it because they're not really related to what I used to like to do. And it's almost as if I've been reflecting on myself as, oh, I would like to be that old me again. And I'd like to do those things like I used to do. But I'm not really giving myself permission today to be the person that I am today, because I'm choosing to be the person I am today that's associated with the person that I used to be, which isn't really being the person that I am today, nor is it allowing me to get to know who I am today. And so in this like organic awakening, I had this like progressively brighter and brighter sensation that every decision that I make today has nothing to do with the past. Every decision I make today has everything to do with me making this decision. Almost like completely truncated, completely dissociate from everything that actually molded and shaped me into the person that I am today, which I've always respected that. I've always respected all the past me's and everything they went through in order for me to be here in this moment of today. I've always respected all the past me's, like the ancestors of myself, literally in this life. Like the me that was 12 years old, or the me that was 20, or the me that, like, always respected all the older me's, the younger me's, but they're like the ancestry versions of myself, my current present day self, because it took everything that they went through in order for me to be who I am. But I still associate or still live through the lens of their own eyes or their own learning and how that affected them, how that impacted them. That I'm not them and they're not me. And there's no sense in us trying to be one another. There's only a sense of letting them know that they don't have to try to create a future anymore. Almost like even the past is still alive somehow because I choose to keep it alive. And so I just let everything go. Like, I let all the molding and shaping and the specialness of all the memories and the hardship that I conquered and all this that I've learned. And it's like, I'm just going to be today. I'm going to decide that what I'm choosing is based upon only me today. And it's next level. It's not like trying to do this, not paying attention and working hard to focus on being in the now. It was just like some natural phenomenon that somehow played out, and I just went with it completely and just became it. I mean, it's on the level that, let's say you were burdened by an experience that lasted 10 years, and the domino effect of trying to repair, even after you could say it kind of came to an end there. And now you're kind of living in the domino effect of the aftermath. Like here, this big bomb, a sort of atomic bomb event, and all the years it takes to repair nature. It's like the past still exists in the present, even though it happened a long time ago, because everything still needs time to repair. And so I just chose to be done repairing. It's like choosing to be done repairing. It's choosing to say, I'm making these decisions not because of what happened in the past, but because I am the person that I am today, and I'm choosing this because I'm choosing this. I'm telling you, it was the weirdest sort of sense of letting go, that it felt like everything was becoming a reset button. And I've talked about the quantum leap concept, where you're trying to get to this next level place, but you can't conceive of the next level place. You can only integrate into it. And so how do you ever get there? In some weird way, in this moment of just saying, I'm only going to be this me. I'm only going to know what this me knows, and it has nothing to do with how it happened yesterday or 5 years ago or all the stories of my past or my history. I'm just going to just be this today. And somehow that was like this quantum leap moment. And I feel like I'm in this great reset button. And if that could be true for me as an individual, then it means that it's true for every single one of us. It means it's true for the whole world, because we're all part of this collective body as individuals, but as the totality. We're all a part of this thing together. And so if I'm going through this, that means that other people are going through this. That means that this is happening somehow for the totality. A reset button. And so I literally was, I stumble across news and all that stuff, just like everybody else. And it's kind of disappointing, some of the things that you hear. And then you read the comments and you see what other people have to say. I'm always curious what people have to say to what they watch. And it just makes you feel kind of defeated or sad about, the human race today, because there's a lot of sad stuff that you're always going to have access to pretty easily. Not always, it's like accessible, happy-go-lucky stuff. One Piece, Monkey D. Luffy stuff, like that's there too. Happy stuff is there too, but it seems sometimes it's easier to access the sad stuff than it is the happy stuff. But I was watching some of this like disappointing news stuff, but I can't explain it. I just felt like in my heart, because I was going through this like weird reset button, that it's like, no matter how grim this appears to be, it's actually something funny beneath the surface. There's like this major reset button that it's not quite aware of yet. Like the grim is turning inside out, and it's going to turn into a very big happy face, and we're all going to reap the rewards of happiness. It's just going to happen. What is happiness truly, Is it like I woke up and I feel great all day long, and I went to bed, I felt great all night long, and every single day is this like great happy day? Like we always have to be challenged. So we have to find our challenges as really exciting and happy moments too. So happiness can be a little more complicated than just like a really good time. Because that's like a very elongated experience. Happiness 24/7. I don't know. Is it possible? All I can do is just really look forward to that happy face. Like I feel it inside myself. That means it already is. It already is happening. Anyway, I just felt like saying all that stuff. I'm going to do a journey, and I'm going to take a look at the energies here and see what the message is for all of us for September 2023, but September 17th is the day that I'm going to post this. So we'll just see what the wisdom is. What is really important that we could be taking a look at? How are the energies communicating? What's our collective body look like? What do we need to be aware of? And we'll just keep the door open. So I'm going to chill. I'm going to close my eyes. And then let's see what comes here. The first message is about discovering who you are. So when you take some time to stand on your own 2 feet and look in the mirror, do you know who you are? And the scene actually looks like this. There's hands that are pressed into mud. And then there's prints left in the mud. And there's this sense of, who am I? the circulation of who am I. There's a desire to take the boot and just stomp it into these handprints and just make the handprints go away. And then it's just mud. Almost like the act of putting an imprint, it holds a certain level of responsibility or accountability to how you are making an imprint in your life and other people's lives, your children's lives, your parents' lives, your friends' lives, the world. But if you didn't have to be responsible for that, something feels oddly easier. Because I see that there's a big boot that just wants to stomp the handprints out. But then we just look at a big pile of mud forever and ever, like the horizon covered in mud, everything covered in mud, and no imprints. No memory, no history. No identity. No existence. I feel there's a emotional pain, and it does impact the heart, yes, but it really impacts the emotional gut. It feels like almost like a mummy, something of the dead is resurrecting. And it's sort of coming up and out of the mud. It stands tall before us. But it's just a mummified artifact of history that's basically dead, but it's coming back to life again. And it's all tied up. And it can't untie itself, so what good is it really? It's as good as it is scary and confusing. So now this one reflecting on who am I, putting their handprints into the mud, changing their mind, stomping the handprints out, seeing across the horizon just mud, no imprints, no memory, no history, now looks at this 20-foot tall mummified person, and it's crazy. It's confusing. What is that doing there? Why is that there? All right. There's a lot of fear involved in this message. The fear of making an imprint. The fear of it being about you. And what difference are you making? The difference you choose to make. And then put your name on that difference. Be known for the difference that you're choosing to make. But you have to know yourself in order to know what you're choosing. In order to start making those imprints. Otherwise, you're just going to blend in with all the rest of the mud. There's a lot of fear involved in that. Then when history starts to come up and out of the mud, and it sort of is looming over you like a big shadow, you're afraid. There's this sense of fear, and what am I looking at? And this is bigger than me, and this is confusing. I don't want to be a part of the mud. I don't want to be a part of this mummy thing. I don't want to be here right now. I just want to be out of this messed up situation. But you're here in the situation. Put your handprint in the mud. And now set yourself apart. Like, be that individual. It's like you have this fingerprint that is the one and only fingerprint in the whole entire world, and it's yours. Man, the emotional gut, the fear energy, and yes, it does impact the heart, and there's this major instability, and I feel like running away, but run where? So there's this building of, I have nowhere that I can run. I have nowhere I can hide, and I can't be known for being who I am. And I can only just stand here and look terrified, to not know what to do. So far, this is the message. This is what we're meant to reflect on this, okay? So I asked the universe, okay, so we're looking at fear, we're looking at opportunity to make a difference or to make your, footprints in the sand kind of concept, put your hand in the mud and be known for the difference that you're making, and then stand up to your fears. Your fears are bigger than you, which is why you're afraid. But when you realize that there's nothing really here to be afraid of, you got to start minimizing those fears down. They're talking about the mummy as a representation of something incomprehensible, impossible, but not yet unknown, like we do know about mummies. But now you're standing here in this possible mud horizon. And the mummy's coming up and out of the ground. And you've got something of the past you're going to have to face. It's not quite clear, what is it capable of? What is it doing? Is it just a tied up human being that can't really do anything at all but scare me? Why am I scared? So there's got to be a little bit of reflection here. Something of the history, something of the past. It could be the world's past. It could be your individual past. And something of a big fear that you're going to have to face. And you're going to have to decide where you stand. And there's not going to be anywhere to run and hide. But you wouldn't want to, okay? You wouldn't want to run and hide. It's going to have to be faced. And it's going to make you bigger, stronger, taller, and proud of yourself. And it's going to heal your heart, heal your emotions. It's safe to be in uncomfortable moments. It's safe to be in uncomfortable moments that you could say you're tired of these uncomfortable moments. But guess what? You can sit with them. You can be familiar with them. You've done this before. I've felt this before. I don't really have all the answers right now, but this feels difficult. What is the fear that I need to face? Maybe it's clear. Maybe it's not exactly clear yet. But don't run from it. This isn't time to run away or to hide or to want to get out of this life. It's time to really stand your ground more solid than ever before. And so I want to say this is all about opportunity. So we're talking about opportunity. Opportunity to grow big and strong. So what else? I'm going to be the mud for a moment, and let's see if we can learn more about what the mud represents. It's it's basically the cesspool of unreconciled feelings. It's like a cesspool of unreconciled pain and suffering in human history. It's not just your individual feelings. It's not just your life. It's all our lives. And it's our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents and our great-great-grandparents, our ancestors' lives as well. Their cesspool of emotions are here too. I don't mean to call it cesspool as though, oh, this pain and suffering, it's like vomit, to be honest. I mean, this mud is like old toxic, nasty vomit, and it's just yuck, lots of yuck, okay? And so it is what it is, you know? So we got to turn all the gross and the yuck, and we got to turn it into something useful, something meaningful, something beautiful. It's an opportunity to heal our ancestors. It's an opportunity to heal each other. And it's an opportunity to heal and make it a more beautiful world. It always is an opportunity. Make it a more beautiful world, you know? So I don't like to define things necessarily as always gross, but if they're gross, they're gross. And then we just acknowledge it for what it is, but it's opportunity. So what's gross is it a cesspool or is it opportunity? Is it a fear or is it opportunity? Opportunity to run away or opportunity to stand your ground? Opportunity to reconcile and make things more beautiful than they've ever been before. Time to get on your feet. Time to start facing this. Time to get passionate about making it different right now. You're strong enough. You're incredible enough. You're smart enough. You came here with all the right tools. Now give yourself some credit. Now be you. Be that face in the mirror. Be all the amazingness of who you are. Because that's what it takes to stand your ground and to overcome the fear. And to turn it into something beautiful. You know what I mean? So when I become the mud, that's what it's like, okay? So what I do is I absorb all of that cesspool inside myself, because what people don't realize is that it's like you have a demon that wants to possess you. But nobody ever thinks about how you're the one going to possess that demon. You got to turn the tables here. So the fear is overcoming you, but guess what? You're the one that's overcoming the fear. So all the negativity and putridness out there, I should never want to have a connection to that. I should never want to be attached to that. I should always be rising above that. but I am it. And it is me. I'm everything. I'm all the gross and all the beauty and all that. All it is like, it's like a dirty house that we can just clean it up. And we move the dirt back outside or put it in the trash or wherever it goes and we make it beautiful again. And it's my responsibility, right? And so I could take all this gross energy and I put it into my heart, and my heart's this infinite furnace. My heart's a direct line to the Almighty, you know? And so there's nothing gross out there that I can't transmute in here. And I can't be afraid of what's out there, because then I'm afraid of something in here. And so anything I'm afraid of out there, I got to face it inside myself, which is facing it externally too. And we got to be grateful for our hardships. These are exactly the hardships we want. And we're standing our ground and grateful, and we're hugging our hardships. And we're bringing all the yuck out there and we're putting it in here. And we're making a difference with our hearts, you see? Because our heart is powerful. When we feel vulnerable in there, what do we do about that? Because it's like eating us on the inside. It's not necessarily always something out there. Sometimes it just appears inside of here. Then what do we do? I'm going to ask my guides. I'm going to ask my higher self. So if we can take the suffering out there and move it through here, turn it into a furnace, heal it, and we can conquer anything. We can turn the tables on anything. What if it starts in there? Then we take it out and we put it outside? Or what do we do? Because I keep seeing this other reflection of a heart that has a hole in it. And so when I take all the gross mud, I put it in here, it feels so much better. But then they show me a heart that has a hole in it. And so what do we do to mend that one? And I say, okay, show me so I can tell everybody what is the answer to this. It's amazing, actually. This is telling me what an incredible day and age we're living in. It's an incredible opportunity to understand the cosmic mirror, you know? We have to navigate each one of these paths. It's a collective world. We're all going through this thing together with each other, but we're also going through it individually, but we're also a part of each other. And we're also at every dimension, time and space. And we're also a part of God's eyes that are looking down across this expanse of all time and understanding the importance of everything that's taking place, whether we can individually accept it or not. And so when I see this scene with the mud, as I've explained, and I bring it in and I heal it, or I see the demon, and it's like, oh, you want to take over me? No, I'm the one going to take over you, demon. Oh, fear, you're going to try to push me down. You're going to break me, are you? Well, I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to grow out of this. You know, you need me in order to exist. Well, I don't need you to exist. It's like turning the table. But I've got this pain in my heart, right? So what I do is I feel the pain. I actually experience the pain. And then I take it almost like, well, the pain feels like a cigarette burn, or the pain feels like a knife stab in my heart, or the pain feels like a rock. The pain just feels like this hole inside of me. And I take whatever I describe the pain as, and then I put it outside of myself so I can take a look at it. Because the pain is a voice. The pain is speaking. The pain is communicating with you. It's wanting to tell you something. And so when the pain is inside of here, you can move it externally. And you use your imagination in order to accomplish this stuff. We have an imagination for a reason. It's not playing pretend. It's a tool for interpreting what your body is saying to you, what your emotions are saying to you, what your dreams are saying to you, what your intuition is saying to you. You pay attention and you take notice to the many voices and the many aches and pains and the many other ways that we get messages inside, whether it's a language or it's just a feeling. Then we take that specific thread of information, we close our eyes, and then we describe it. Well, this thread of information is like a pain in my back, and I just keep feeling it. It's a physical pain, or it's an emotional pain. It's like this person is like a pain in my back, and I feel that pain in my back. So I'm going to take the pain, and I'm going to just have it stand here like a person. I'm going to look at it. And this is what I do. And when I do a journey, I choose to take a look at things, and I choose to see how it wants to talk to me and what my relationship is with it in order for me to make peace with it. So as soon as you notice something aching in your heart, it's time to make peace with it. Not because you have a brain that puts its finger on it and says, oh, this is because of this moment in time and all these memories. That's convenient. That's logical and convenient. But that might not be all it's about. This could be a huge expanse of information. And so you take it out and you let it be alive, and then you have a conversation with it. And you can have a conversation with it not with the mind or the logic, but just by hugging it, by holding its hand. By just saying, I see you, and I want to get better at listening. I want to get better at understanding. And this isn't, oh, just make it, polish it up and turn it into something beautiful and that fixes everything. Sometimes there has to be an honest exchange. Sometimes we have to become aware of maybe a vulnerability in our behavior. And it's time to look at it and say, you need to stop hurting yourself, or you need to stop being so negative, or you need to let this go. You need to forgive this. So these pains can be communicating some guidance that doesn't necessarily come with the logical answer, but it comes with a deep, wise meaning. And we chose to pay attention and we be present with that. You know what I mean? So they're showing me we can transmute what's out there in here. But if it's in here, we can take it out and we can communicate with it, understand what it's teaching us, what it's guiding us. It's a pathway of its own. And we need to be grateful for our aches and pains. They're going to be teaching us many things. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I like this message because while it's about fear and it's about the past and it's about healing and facing and taking ownership and knowing that we can make an imprint and to be proud of the imprints that we're making, to be part of history, right? And be part of the mending of history, and then just be part of the growth and development of one's own self. It's all good heart energy stuff. So what else would be another side of this message? Okay, so I'm going to share some healing for your heart right now. And it actually starts with a hum sound. It's just a simple sound. And from the hum, there's this golden light that comes from it. It's not low, it's not high, it's not even mid-range. It's like a slight notch below, like a mid-level tone. It's in no hurry. It's not forceful. It's patient. And I'm shown a picture of your heart, and it looks like many, many compartments. And each compartment is divided by walls. And the walls are there in order to keep emotions organized, you could say. Or keep the past or the memories or how we divide up our exchanges in a day. It's almost like to maintain balance and organization in a way. And I put light through all the walls and all the compartments. And it's a part of this kind hum. And it's a part of this golden light. And it's a part of patience as well. And there's a whisper about how much you matter, how important you are. And the whisper is asking you to let go of your fears. And the fears could be close to home. It could be about family members or friends. It could be about money. It could be about work. It could be about losing yourself to something. It could be about the state of the world and the future of the world. It could be about your kids. It could be about your car not starting anymore and not being able to fix it, and what are you going to do? It's almost like what we define as problems. These problems weigh heavy on our hearts and on our well-being and our safety and security. And the light and the kind hum and the golden energy is here for you. So I actually have a collection of all these problems. And it just looks like a big stormy cloud. And it's like sometimes no amount of logical thought, no amount of strategy, sometimes it's not like there's an answer, okay? Sometimes we just need to hand all this over. We just hand it over to some cosmic consciousness of divine love. Like the material that creates all things. Where there is an intelligent mind more intelligent than our own. And we can weep, you know. We can sometimes feel defeated. So we just don't know what to do anymore. But all we're doing is we're just letting go of the problem. We're letting go of desperately looking for a solution. And a solution might not be there right now. And so when we let go of the weight, we're giving ourselves room to breathe. We're giving ourselves room to just be in the center of who we are and what we can be right now. Helps us feel lighthearted, right? And I bring in a really kind face and a robust gong sound. And I start to tune into what can only be described as all the most sacred places on the whole planet that are there for us. Whether we could go there physically or whether we even knew about them or not. And all these sacred places are here for us, and they're part of our own soul's light. They're part of our human light. They're part of our world and our earth. And we're letting that love and support in. We're letting it in. We're not allowing ourselves to feel separate from it because we can't have it, but we already had it. We always had it because it was always a part of us. And it was part of all the souls that got to be directly there, and we're part of those souls. And we're part of everything, and we're letting that come back to us. The memories of love and peace and spirituality and divine virtues and divine love and balanced and harmonious nature and what it all means in the most beautiful, kind way it could ever mean. We're just letting it come into our heart. Letting ourselves have that, you know? It's not so much about the sound of the mud or the sound of the fear or the past or anything. It's now about the sound of something more beautiful. I see a person, they're brushing their teeth and they smile into the mirror and they have this like cartoonesque shiny white smile. And I see they're picking out an outfit and they're gonna look nice and sleek. And they feel good about their appearance, they feel good about their personality, they feel good about themselves. They're the best that they can be. They're the very best they can be. And maybe to one person's standard, it's not enough. And another person's standard, it's, wow, what an incredible person you are. And everybody will have their standard. But you're going to know. You're going to know what is the best that you can be. And you welcome yourself to be the very best that you can be. Not because you had to work really, 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 really hard, but because you gave it your all today. And some days the volume's on really high, like, yeah, I'm great at giving this my all. And other days, like, I'm exhausted. I wish I could give my all better today. But that's the very best you can be right now. That's just the very best you can be. And something is asking us to give ourselves a little bit more room to love ourselves and focus on energies that help us feel clear and breathable and bright and continue to be bright for this world, you know? Bright for ourselves is naturally then bright for each other. It just happens that way. So when you care about loving yourself and you feel that peace with yourself because you choose to, You choose to not be in conflict. Because all that conflict stuff, we just handed that off to the almighty love of all, okay? All that conflict stuff, we just let all that go. Is you choose to be in conflict. Or you choose to say, you know what? The conflict is in God's hands. I'm going to be the very best I can be today. So I might have to cry, or I might have to withdraw and take a hot bath, or I might not be able to answer the phone right now, or whatever. Or guess what? I did it. I went for that jog. I got those awesome groceries and made an amazing dinner. I baked myself a cake and shared it with my friends and family. Like whatever. Like sometimes we do awesome things and sometimes we're a little more withdrawn, but we're the very best we can be. And this feels good. This is just this really good conversation and the heart is like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that feels nice. Yeah, I like that. We're not focusing on the end of the world and the apocalypse and Revelation and the human race going down the tubes or whatever. We're focusing on, you know what, I'm here today and I'm happy and I'm full of light and I'm going to be the very best that I can be today. And all the conflict, I'm just going to send it away because what's the point of being in conflict with myself? I can do that. I can say that's the honest truth, or I can just say, you know what, not today. I need to be my very best. I'm going to have that bright white smile. I'm going to have that nice clean outfit. I'm going to have that sleek sense about me. I'm going to be confident. You know what? I'm going to smile when I talk. I'm going to give people the time just to share their story and I'm just going to be there for them. Or, you know, whatever. It's like, I'm going to be my awesome self today. I'm going to be that. Then I feel good when I'm that. I feel good. And all of this, as you can see, is already transmuting the mud, right? Because there wasn't any mud. It's already transmuting the scary, strange mummy. What's it going to do to us? What's the past coming back to haunt us? Doesn't really exist because we're focusing on what matters most. You're focusing on this here, this heart that matters most, your heart that matters most. Yeah. I feel like we transcended so much just in this conversation. And we worked through the difficult parts of it. We choose to see ourselves. Choosing to work on our heart and our balance. We're choosing to let the love in, to transform and guide us into something super exciting, you know? Like very exciting. There's always a blessing on the other side of these vulnerable times. And we should be excited about that. We're stepping into a new sense of self today. You know what I mean? All right. Thank you for being a part of this experience with me. Thank you for your love and support here. Like, subscribe, share. This helps me build my YouTube channel. If you're interested in exploring a session with me, you can book a session at my website at abbeynormalswisdomclass.com. All right, have a great day.